Hey everybody, it's your girl Bunny. To all of my returning subscribers, hey, how you doing? And for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. Kick your feet up, subscribe to this family-friendly channel, and don't forget to click the notification bell so you don't miss any posts. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name so you don't miss the sneak peeks of what's coming up next. In this video, it's Insecure Season 5 Episode 8 entitled Choices, okay? I give a full episode recap with photos offset to the side, and then I give my review at the end. No need to dig around. I have all of the minute marks in the comments. It's all coming up next. Nate and Issa have small talk. She can't believe Tiffany and Derek are moving. It's the reality that things are changing. Nate has his morning routine of mental health prescriptions, and Issa witnesses his fluidity. There's a sense of comfort between the two, so much so that Nate suggests moving in together. It's something to think about, and they could even save some money. Issa agrees it's something to think about. It's another event for the block, and Issa even managed to book Anthology Collective. Nothing But Water applauds her success. The answer from Nadia concerning an offer is coming soon. They trust her work ethic and track record. Nate and his cousin seem to be on better terms, and it's all smiles, good times, and shopping. The crew arrives, and they're so happy for Issa. They tease about how she has this new love for Nate and their public affection. Molly is even excited about her second date with Torian. It will be a good stress reliever after having another real estate meeting with her parents. While Koya and Issa correlate notes on the event so far, Crenshaw is waiting to speak with them. He's there to give props and even make peace. He tried to throw a wearable art gala and admits it was overwhelming to plan. He didn't know that you needed a certain license, permits, and a lot of paperwork. He popped off when he got mad and sees Issa is really caring about the community. He's had a lot of offers. He's about to open a store, and if they teamed up, they could really make some good moves. Now he wants to work with Issa again. Issa later gets an email she's been waiting for, the offer letter. MBW wants to partner formally with the block. The attachment has the financial offer, and Issa is excited. She meets up with NBW and can't wait to show more information about the Miracle Theater. It's a great way to display Anthology's new collection and their concert series. They've even processed specific permits weeks ago, just in case, and it seats about 400 people. Spacious, yet intimate. Each endeavor is bigger and better, with additional team members assisting Issa. There's interviews, and from that conversation, the audience learns that it's been about 2 years now, and LA will always be Issa's home. It's first-class flights, and she even sees Ty Dolla $ign, and Ty Dolla $ign is meeting up with Crenshaw later. He's like a town hero now. She comes home to an amazing home, and Nathan greets her with a kiss. Nathan has a new shop, and his celeb clients just keep growing. They're deeply in love, but there's a pause. Where do we move to? Why are we here? We moved to Hollywood to be closer to NBW, remember? But of course, it's all a part of Issa's imagination. Issa gets a text from Crenshaw to meet her at a location. Molly and Kelli meet with her parents to discuss real estate options and everything that would need to be disclosed in her will. Kelli is by her side with support and additional financial information. The true details concern a balance sheet. How will they split the house? What's in her SIP, or does she have a Roth? If mom has another stroke, where does her money go? Molly's parents can't understand why they just can't split everything after they've died. I mean, why does it even matter? Kelli explains that the banks need actual dollar amounts. This will help to paint a picture of their financial assets. Unfortunately, their 401k isn't too big. Molly's dad had to pull money for the medical expenses. There's not much left at all, and her dad doesn't like the conversation. He feels it's heartbreaking. After 50 years of working, he doesn't want to have to face the fact that he can't leave that much to his children. Kelli assures that this conversation is difficult but necessary. Each family scenario is different, and she's seen it all. But there's good news. They can even start a special bank account that day. Molly's dad is clearly saddened by the news, but everyone tries to lighten the mood. Molly tells him it's okay and they'll handle everything one step at a time. Issa meets with Crenshaw and he's serious about his future endeavors. He even wants to set up an after-school program. He wants her on his team. Koya is surprised that even after all the drama, they're working with him, but maybe it was just Issa who really moved all of the chess pieces, not Crenshaw. They view new real estate since the flagship store is done so well. They've crunched the numbers and a second location can happen. A line of locals waiting to get in. They show love and acknowledge her walking by. It's everything vibing in the community. And even a bus pulls up with Ty Dolla $ign, advocating for MBW. The city of Inglewood commends Issa for uplifting, founding, and inspiring the community. The key to the city. The cherry on the top, giving her a dedicated calendar day. She carries it home but asks, "Why didn't we move into a bigger place, Nate?" Well, he explains, as an entrepreneur, you had to make some financial sacrifices. His voice slowly turns out of her hearing, and Lawrence says he's proud of her. She had a lot of options to be happy, and now she's finally being rewarded. When he moves in for a kiss, she screams. But of course, it's all a part of her imagination. Again, it's been a long day, but Kelli enjoyed helping Molly and suggests they should work as a team more often. Everyone is exhausted, but there's a sigh of relief that things have been documented and completed. Another sigh of relief for Molly in the car, but that slowly turns into tears. Those tears and crying is interrupted by a phone call. It's Torian. He wants to confirm a night out on the town, but Molly says that she won't be much fun. She had a very rough day with her parents. To Molly's surprise, he tells her that that's fine, and he's all ears if she wants to talk about it. Issa does some more self-reflection. Her vision seemed great, but why did Lawrence show up in her mind? She called Lawrence and he called her back, but she didn't pick up. Maybe it's a sign things aren't done yet. Issa gives Molly a call and Molly reports that it's official. My parents finally have a will. Issa is conflicted with choices concerning MBW. Am I a sellout, she asks? Is it too big of a risk to assist Crenshaw? Molly lets her know that there's no right answer. Issa has to go with her gut. Her true decision will probably be somewhere in the middle. Molly gets a knock at the door, and she didn't order anything. Shortly after that, she receives a text from Torian. Wings and wine make everything better. Nate brings home dinner to Issa and tells her about his day. And as he speaks and leaves the room to wash his hands, his voice suddenly goes away, saying that he wants her to be happy. And Issa thinks she hears Lawrence's voice. There's moments of anticipation, but as she looks down the hall, the vision is Nate. It seems to make Issa disappointed seeing Nate's face reappear. And that is the end of the episode. And now it is time for your favorite part of the video. That's right, my review. Only 2 episodes left, you guys, until this Insecure series comes to a close. Now, if you've been following me for all of the recaps and reviews, when this episode aired and you watched it, a lot of the things that I predicted concerning the fluidity of the writing came true. We saw that, as discussed, the writers are showing ideas of what the characters will do after the show ends. So even if they don't give us a definite answer, we can use some information kind of predicting how characters are talking, how they're going to proceed in life. A perfect example, Kelli mentioned a few episodes ago that, you know what, I like what I do. I love the financial planning, but I have an issue with talking with white men, with them giving their white men information to other white men to help them get richer. She really wanted to reach out to her community. So we see that she really enjoyed sitting down with Molly and their family, helping them figure out everything and answering financial questions. And then her telling Molly that she really loved it and looks forward to working with her in the future. It's something that she encourages that they do again. So that lets us know, with the fluidity of the writing, we can conclude that Kelli is finding peace with helping her own people, with helping the community or people that she knows. And you could see the shock with the family when it comes to financial planning. I did mention in a few episodes ago in my review that culturally, it's so difficult to be Black in America as it is. It's exhausting to live. So thinking of death in families is, especially within our community, in my community, it's difficult to talk about those things, because it's just like we're thinking about all of these inequalities, we're thinking about all the injustice, thinking about all this stuff just because of our ethnicity to live, and thinking about death is just so hard, but it's so necessary. It's this survival tactic, right, of our ancestors, thinking that, you know what, we've always bonded together, we've always got together as a collective, to where when things happen, we'll take care of it and cross that bridge once we get there. But now we are learning, right? The more we are educated about wealth, something that's not taught to us, and in certain cultures, they share that with each other, but we have yet to learn about that. Now, we have a lot of Black Wall Streets that were in America, but they were burned down. We had massacres. So we didn't have a manual left about how to build wealth and how to manage finance. So it's this era of the lost, trying to figure out how can we accumulate wealth, something that America that does not want us to have. And then also we're battling with, okay, we're talking about wealth and real estate, but it's something, right, that America doesn't want us to have. So it's just kind of like this unsolved mystery of how do we get there? But these conversations are needed and they're necessary, because we have to break those molds when we talk about wealth. I loved how the writing mentioned Roths and how the writing mentioned the SEP. Now, for those of you who were watching it, some of you might have said, well, what's that? That's good if it made you question what it is. Now, I already know what they are. They're investments. It's future investment planning. It's future retirement planning. It's based upon future finances and taking care of yourself and your family, people you care for, etc. I hope that the writers, the point of that is to get people to go and research about what that was. Listening to that family dynamic of them sitting down and them really thinking about, well, you know what? How about we just, after we pass, just split everything? I mean, what's the problem? And Kelly's saying, I know, I wish it were that simple, but when we're talking about banks, they want actual numbers. They need to know the specifics of your assets. Even Issa mentioned, right, that there was a family member or somebody that she knew, I think she said an aunt or something, that when they passed, when it came to her real estate, it was something that she couldn't even pass down because the county got it. Now we're talking about real estate that the state, right, or the city can take from your family. And a lot of people don't even know that. You've paid for the house, it's yours, but if you don't have it documented that you need to pass that down and give it to someone, legally they have a lot of things that they know in order to get your real estate. All of that hard work, all of those things that they talked about, and that those few minutes of dialogue can be broken down into so many educational courses when we're talking about finance. And Kelli said, I've talked to so many different families and there's so many different scenarios, so don't feel bad because you don't know. You didn't know. Families thinking that they have more and they don't, and all that they left, I think she said, was a Nissan, and that was something that you had to do manual. It wasn't even an automatic transmission. So she's talking about that. And these are the conversations that people and families need to have. It's unfortunate to talk about, but it's so important. And then the reflection of the dad saying, I can't believe that I've worked my entire life. And then I'm thinking about, well, I had to pull money out of the 401k, and now there's not any left. There's not even that much left. And then we're going to talk about that with everyone in the group. And then that's what I'm I'm passing down to my children, it's this epiphany of, wow, I can't believe this. I thought I had this. I thought I had that. But the point of this, one of the things to grasp from this episode where we're talking about finances, is that this is important to think about. When we talk about death, when we talk about finances and all these things, okay, you didn't know. You didn't know. It's kind of heartbreaking to learn about. But then also Kelli makes the statement into saying, well, we can start an account now. This is something I can educate to you about that now. And Molly's saying, you know what, Dad, you gave us love. It's okay. You did your thing. And then also I'm thinking, yeah, Molly's a lawyer. Her sons are okay. Everybody's fine. You did the best with what you could with what you had. And it's something that as generations pass, we can't beat ourselves up about, because we've been up against a lot of walls, up against a lot of hard rocks and hard places. So hopefully that was started the dialogue within each family. Now let's talk about Molly's tears in the car. And this, I started to get teary-eyed when she got in the car, because I'm thinking, oh man, poor Molly. She gets into the car, they finalize the will, they've got everything squared away. But when she gets in the car, she looks back at the house and she begins to cry. It's this moment of, wow, we've thought about everything. We've gotten something written down on paper. It's the reality that my parents aren't going to live forever. And when they're gone, this is what they're going to be. This is what they're going to leave behind. This is the legacy. It's that exhaustion of getting it out and talking about it. It took so much to plan and to talk about it and to purge all of the information. That's exhausting. Those tears are exhaustion. Those tears were love and concern for her parents and her family. I thought that was amazing writing. So also Molly, right, is witnessing intimacy. I've said for the longest time that Torian was a good potential dating mate for Molly. But Molly is finally witnessing intimacy and attention and compassion from Torian. Not demanding a lot from her, but listening. Not demanding a lot from her and expecting a lot from her, but listening and knowing that she's tired, knowing that she's hungry, and she might want a drink. So sending that to her as being a transparent human being was beautiful. The unfortunate thing is Molly had so many expectations, and I talked about this in previous reviews several times, that Molly, because of unrealistic expectations and not being fair to see everything, she had so many barriers that she put between her and other potential people that she could have met or had good relationships with. Now that she's had some reflecting, now that she's had the therapy, now that she's dealt with her honesty and how she appeared to other people, now we have this open door for a wonderful man like Torian to step in and to speak with her and to have that connection of, hey, I understand how you feel. I went through similar things with my family and my brother. So it's wonderful that she's finally connecting with someone and it not being so much pressure. So beautiful writing. Okay. Issa's visions. I was so frustrated and trying to figure out what they were doing. Okay, which one is the vision? Which one is the reality? Which is which? Because they were going back and forth with each scenario. But don't we all do this? Don't we all sit and think, okay, if I make this decision, this will probably happen. If I make this decision, that will probably happen. But the reality of it is we don't know what's going to happen. That's life. That's the scary part. Having all of these goals and things that we want to do, but we have no freaking idea how things may go. Molly's saying, you have these things, you're wondering, if you could sell out, if it's this or if it's that, but go with your gut. Go with what is life and things that are surrounding you. What is it telling you? And even with that, so it's highly likely that you're going to meet somewhere in the middle. And even if you do meet in the middle, who knows if that's correct, right? So it's not ignoring your gut. And Issa, throughout this entire series, unfortunately, what has stopped her is self-doubt and people-pleasing. Issa's character is such a people-pleaser that unfortunately, she puts herself, when it comes to her own pleasure and her own goals, she puts that on the back burner. And dealing with her decisions of not listening to what is important for her always has backfired, unfortunately. We've heard her say over and over again, I wish I would have known what I wanted to do earlier. I wish I would have known what, because she's putting forth everybody else's feelings, everybody else's critiques and what they want and what they need, instead of saying, you know what, it's fair and it's not egotistical for me to say, well, what do I want? What are some things that will make me happy? And then what is a compromise with me being an entrepreneur, me thinking about a big corporation, right? Her, when she's just like, well, we had to, the vision was like, well, as an entrepreneur, you had to make a lot of financial, sacrifices. Here she is with the key to the city, and she's coming back to her same apartment, and she's like, what the heck? It's just like this punch in the face of, is this what's going to happen? But she doesn't know what's going to happen. But the common denominator in both visions was Lawrence. The common denominator of her career was also that additive of happiness with Lawrence. If you listen to my reviews, I talked about how when you talk about somebody that you want to be with, you have to accept all of the things that go with that person. I always use an example. Let's say, for instance, somebody has a handicap and you love that person, but you accept their handicap, but your life needs to adjust to their handicap. And your love for them outweighs that. You just adjust to their lives. If Issa wants Lawrence, she has to consider, and that's been the difficult thing with Issa, is considering dealing with Condola forever, and that he has a child and her life has to adjust to that child. So it's all of these things that are conflicting. And also the truth of, clearly he feels some type of way now and she doesn't anymore. And dealing with the realization that Nate was unfortunately the rebound. She's dealing with that because now she's having visions of, is Lawrence gonna pop up? And when she saw his face, it was pure disappointment. What the writing, I feel, is trying to communicate is that all relationships have their own significance. Maybe for career and self-evaluation, Nate and Issa love each other for that. You can love someone for what they've introduced or opened your eyes to in life. Nate inspired her to pursue her dreams when it comes to serving the community and developing herself as an entrepreneur. And Issa was the influence in him reevaluating mental health and family, because as you can see, he's rebuilding his relationship with his cousin, and they're happy and they're talking, they're outside, there's no bitterness between them, they're both happy for one another. So it's like they were brought to each other and they love each other for helping each other push forward in life. What's going to be difficult for Issa, hypothetically speaking, let's say that she wants Lawrence. She's dealing with, am I going to behave like I've always behaved? This bad cycle of worrying. Am I going to hurt somebody's feelings, or am I going to go with my gut? Because what's keeping her from not saying anything is she doesn't want to hurt Nate, because she's made all these demands. She said, I love you, want to be in a relationship. She's been back and forth. Even Nate says that she's undecisive. Now she's going to have to deal with that. But an important thing, what Iyanla Vanzant always used to say on her show, Fix My Life, is she used to say that there's going to be this moment of anger and sadness. But you know what? Eventually, you learn about it, you get over it, right? So she's going to have to tell herself, I'm going to hurt this man's feelings. He's going to be so upset with me. I can't. But would you rather do that, or would you rather live a lie? Would you rather live a lie and be absolutely just saddened by the whole thing? Now let's talk about Issa and the Crenshaw situation. I said in a couple of reviews back that Crenshaw's actions in the past is going to be the deciding factor of how Issa handles business. If she conquers the part of her that's always the people pleaser, she shouldn't want to work with Crenshaw. Her visions that we saw in this episode were visions of what would have possibly happened had he not handled the situation unprofessionally. Had he gone with the regulations, had he spoke to her, kind of differently when it comes to business, right? Now he's seeing the reality. Hey, I tried to have an event and it's just so much to it. This is what I have an issue with Crenshaw's character. He publicly embarrasses her, but privately acknowledges how great she is. If she's smart, if Issa's character is smart, she will not want to work with someone like that. She will not want to work with someone who questions her ethic all the time, who questions her decisions. You want me, you're using me for your benefit. You see what I could bring to the table, but at the same time, do I have to worry about you if you get upset again, that you're going to do that publicly to me again? It was possible that he could have actually had such a negative effect on her company that it could have ruined her. So hopefully we will see Issa say, you know what? We've got to get rid of the people pleasing Issa. What would be best career-wise? What would be best for me personally? So I hope that we see that. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed this recap and review. Let me know your opinions in the comments. I cannot wait to read those. Like this video, you guys. Like this video and share with family and friends. Also follow me on Instagram at the same profile name, officialbunne_e. Happy holidays. Don't forget to look at the recommended other reviews and recaps that I have listed in the pinned comment. In the meantime, in between time, take care of yourself and each other. Bye.